Okay, 10 years ago, as some of you in this hall know, I was Chief Executive Officer of the media group, Red for Africa, which also owns what remains one of the top 5 PR companies in the country. But those 10 years ago, just as we had finally become talk of the town, in the middle of running communication for 3 presidential elections, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, and after appointments as public relations agencies to 3 of the largest banks in the country at the same time, I quit my job. I quit because professionally I was on a high, but personally my life was falling apart. I was officially diagnosed with clinical depression, and for good measure, Tourette syndrome, which is why fans of the show notice that I twitch on the right side. In between the pain, the desperation, and the antidepressants I was taking, one afternoon, thoroughly tired of life and living, I slowed down my car on the popular Eco Bridge in Lagos on my way home and considered taking my life. I was tired of everything. I soon decided I was going to leave Nigeria, do my PhD in America, and live a quiet academic life. But in the midst of the deep tiredness, 2 things happened. First, I went to see a mentor, Fela Drotoye, to ask for help with the pain. It was in his home that I felt the first ray of hope. He told me that this was all part of God's plan, and that God was going to use the depression to transform my life in ways I could not even begin to imagine. Second, in the midst of all the upheaval, I was dealing with intense criticism on Twitter because Buhari, when I went to YouTube and typed what to do when people hate you. And out came an interview that Oprah had with the phenomenal TEDx star Brené Brown on Super Soul Sunday. That single interview healed me and then completely transformed the trajectory of my life. Because after it had calmed me down, I made a promise to myself that I would do a show like Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, so that one day a young African would go online, like I did, and search for a solution to a problem in their hearts, and my show will pop up and help them, like it helped me. I soon forgot that promise, as I got a Yale fellowship that year and moved to America, still determined to live. But in the midst of my time in New Haven, something happened that made me decide I had to return home to share the good news of what I had learned that cured the depression. Including what I had learned from global research on human flourishing about the beauty of African community, religiosity, and geography that made it easier for me to heal. I remember the commitment inspired by Oprah. I decided I was going to come home and spread the message of vulnerability